Whew. Scotty Yaddy. What is going on, gang? Hello, world. How you doing? Feel like I'm a coder in Python. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Phatm Phuego, and you are tuned into the news, views, previews, and reviews. With just a twist of his got a point of view. Ooh. I hope everybody's having an amazing week. Like, real talk. Another day. This ain't just like any day, though. I gotta say, this is a oh happy day. Oh happy day. You ever hear that? You know what I'm saying? Like when he starts scratching his voice. Oh happy day. Oh happy day. Oh happy day. When Jesus was, he had my sins away. Oh happy day. Oh happy day. When Jesus was, he took my sins away. I'm just saying, man. For those that don't know what's going on, so breaking news. Last night it came out late in the evening that New York City has officially started to get down the path, I should say, because it's not a completely done deal just yet. They have started down the path of legalization for adult use cannabis. Come on, y'all, clap that the up. Come on, y'all. This if we ain't gonna clap anything up here on his ghetto motherfucking point of view. His ghetto point of view. Ooh. We bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews. Well, if we ain't going to clap anything else to hell up on it, we gonna clap up some responsible adult use of cannabis. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Y'all feel like that little dog skin kid? My voice. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus was, he wiped my sins away. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Yo. Oh, happy day. Y'all, this is a happy day, man. This is good news. Oh man, I don't know how to feel about this, man. Like I'm completely, like, you know how you get so used to something going wrong that when it goes right, you just don't know what to do. So like that's how I feel right now, yo. I'm like, yo, I'm so used to this going wrong that it went right and I don't know what to do with myself. It ain't fully down yet, but I swear to you, y'all, all I thought of when I saw this was like that little dark skin kid. What is the name? I gotta look his name. I'm gonna look the name up of this actor. Y'all done seen him. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus was. When Jesus was. He wiped my sins away. Come on, y'all seen Sister Act before. Y'all seen Sister Act before. Y'all seen that little dark-skinned boy with his dashiki on. Oh, happy day. Yo, and Whoopi Goldberg had to work him up to being the singer he was by the end. Come on, man. Y'all seen Sister Act before. Y'all seen Sister Act. It's one of the first of all. Y'all, number one, y'all seen Sister Act before. Let's not play like y'all ain't see Sister Act. Number one. Number two. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. I'm sorry, man. But, okay, Fox News reports New York officials reached agreement to legalize marijuana. The reform measures will be included in the laws to be proposed as part of the state budget on April 1st. Weed all about it. New York State officials have reached a deal to legalize marijuana. Legislative sources told the New York Post on Wednesday, just hours after Governor Andrew Cuomo called it essential to the state's social and economic well-being. The reform measures will be included in the laws to be proposed as part of the state budget on April 1st, the sources said. The deal would allow New Yorkers over the age of 21 to legally buy and possess up to 3 ounces of pot for their personal use, with licensed sales to begin by December 2022. Sources said House passes legislation to recreational stoners could even cultivate up to a dozen plants per household, 6 plants per individual adult. So if you have a household with 2 adults, you can have up to 12 plants. Even if you have more than 2 adults, 2 people over the age of 21, according to the New York State law, who could consume cannabis, you can only have up to 12 plants growing in your house at a time. But I mean, that's an insane yield for anybody who understands, growing and, how much you can get per plant. If you could grow 12 plants in your house simultaneously, A, you know what I'm saying? Let me know where you live at, because I need a little bit. B, that's more than enough to facilitate personal use for homes. Recreational stoners could even cultivate a dozen plants per household, but a big bummer in the agreement would make them wait to start growing until 18 months after the first licensed dispensary opens the rock. Okay, whatever. So they want you to wait 18 months until after the dispensaries open before you start, to give the dispensaries a fair opportunity to, I guess, catch up or get some of that green first. Whatever. Yeah, that part. How they gonna? Yeah, you gonna have to be. Yeah, well, they fuck around and knock on people's doors. Plans call for a 9% sales tax on retail sales that could generate $300 million a year in new sales. That's not bad. 9%. So, let's say, guys, if you buy $100 worth of weed, it'll be $109 with state tax. 109 would be your total. So cities, towns, and villages could tack on another 4% sales tax or opt out of allowing local sales and deliveries. So you could have up to a 13% tax. Yeesh. The deal includes the creation of a new state regulatory agency, the Office of Cannabis Management, to license growers, retail sales, delivery, and on-premise consumption. Ooh. Wow. Still unresolved issues include how the tax money would be distributed beyond the funding of a new agency, with plans calling for 40% dedicated to school aid, 40% to social equity grants, and the remaining 20% to treatment and public education. Okay, where's the money for the people y'all threw in jail for just selling the nonviolent offenders y'all threw in jail for selling cannabis? Social equity grants, is that 40%? Yeah, this don't sound this. Some of that money needs to be split up better. In addition, Cuomo wanted the agency under his control, but the plans call for it to answer to a 5-member board with 3 gubernatorial appointees and and one each selected by the state, Senate, and Assembly, respectively. Kroger said. Sources said that the money would have to be earmarked for additional trained drug recognition officers, and that the state police, and health department would have to certify a device to test motorists suspected of driving while inebriated, aka high. I put in inebriated, they wrote driving while high. I just thought inebriated just sounded so much fancier, so much fancier. But anyway, during a news conference earlier Thursday, Cuomo said that he was making marijuana legalization a top priority in budget negotiations with lawmakers. This year, we have to get it done, and getting it done by the time the budget is passed is essential. Cannabis is not just social equity, it is also revenue for the state. Cuomo bluntly admitted that, see that play on words, they, bluntly. Cuomo bluntly admitted that weed should have been legalized years ago, and in an extraordinary acknowledgement blamed himself for the state's official prohibition of pot. We've been trying to legalize cannabis for three years. I've failed every year. We're close 3 times. We're close 3 times before. We were close 3 times before. If we were playing horseshoes, we would have been in good shape, but this is not horseshoes. You either get it done and sign a bill, or you don't. Mm, mm. And wow, a lot of people in the comments section are saying exactly the same thing that I said, that most states have been held out until there was a huge scandal that they needed to divert the people's attention from. So he really held on to this because according to him, this was supposed to be legalized since the end of last year, and since 2020. And he held that until the scandal popped off. For those that don't remember, this governor is responsible for the murder of at least 30,000 senior citizens who were residing in senior care centers around the city and in upstate. In addition to that, he has about 8 or 9 different individuals accusing him of sexual assault allegations. So it just seems funny that now would be the time he would finally be like, yeah, let's get this done. It was supposed to be done 3 years ago. So what was the wait? How many more people went to jail? How many more people were sentenced to jail time behind this? I mean, what was the issue? And some people that I've been talking to are like, well, we need to decriminalize weed instead of make it legal. And to decriminalize something is dope, but decriminalizing is the lessening or termination of criminal penalties in the relation to certain acts, perhaps retroactively, though perhaps regulated permits or fines might still apply. To decriminalize something means to lessen the criminal penalties. To legalize something means to make it not a means to completely to legalize something is to make it legal, especially to give legal validity or sanction to, right? So if I legalize it, then it means to make legal or lawful, authorized or sanctioned by law. If I legalize marijuana, it is not a crime. Therefore, I cannot put people behind bars for it, nor can I hold the people currently behind bars. To legalize versus to decriminalize. Legalization is the much it's much better to legalize something versus to decriminalize it, right? So here's an excellent article by ThoughtCo. Decriminalization versus legalization of marijuana. The terms are not interchangeable in the debate over pot. They're not interchangeable at all. To decriminalize means to make the penalties less harsh. To legalize means there are no penalties for this at all. Some people mistakenly use the term decriminalize and legalize interchangeably when discussing marijuana. There are two important distinctions between the two. When Colorado allowed retail pot sales, it sparked discussion across the country about whether medical marijuana or recreational marijuana use should be decriminalized or legalized. Some states have decriminalized while others have legalized. Decriminalization is a loosening of criminal penalties imposed for personal marijuana use, even though the manufacturing and sale of the substance remain illegal. Essentially, under decriminalization law, enforcement is instructed to look the other way when it comes to the possession of small amounts of marijuana meant for personal use. Under decriminalization, both the production and sale of marijuana remain unregulated by the state. Those caught using the substance face civil fines instead of criminal charges. Legalization, on the other hand, is the lifting or abolishment of laws banning the possession and personal use of marijuana. More importantly, legalization allows the government to regulate and tax use and sales. Proponents also make the case that taxpayers can save millions of dollars by removing from the judicial system the hundreds of thousands of offenders caught with small amounts of marijuana. Arguments in favor of decriminalization. Proponents of decriminalizing marijuana argue that it doesn't make sense to give the federal government the authority to legalize the use of marijuana on one hand while attempting to regulate it on the other, much of the way it sends conflicting messages about alcohol and tobacco use. According to Nicholas Themish, a former spokesman for pro-marijuana legalization forum group NORML, where is legalization going? What confused message is legalization sending to our kids who are told by countless ads not to do any drugs? I do not consider marijuana to be a drug in the sense that cocaine, heroin, meth, and PCP are and suffer under zero tolerance policies. Other opponents of legalization argue that marijuana is a so-called gateway drug that leads users to other more serious and more addictive substances. States where marijuana is decriminalized, according to NORML. Shouts to NORML, by the way. I'm a NORML New York supporter. Those guys do great work. These states have fully decriminalized personal marijuana use. Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Rhode Island. Shout to Bernie Sanders. I'm seeing a lot of places that my delegations go and have homes that are already decriminalized. Wow. These states have partially decriminalized certain marijuana offenses. Minnesota, Missouri, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio. Arguments in favor of legalizing. Proponents of complete legalization of marijuana, such as the actions taken in the early states of Washington and Colorado, argue that allowing the manufacture and sale of the substance removes the industry from the hands of criminals. They also argue that the regulation of marijuana sales make it safer for consumers and provide a steady stream of new revenue for cash-strapped states. The Economist magazine wrote in 2014 that the decriminalization of marijuana makes sense only as a step toward full legalization because under the former, only criminals would profit from a product that remains outlawed. Duh. According to The Economist, decriminalization is only half the answer. As long as supplying drugs remains illegal, the business will remain a criminal monopoly. Jamaica's gangsters will continue to enjoy a control over the ganja market. They will go on corrupting police, murdering their rivals, and pushing their products to children. People who buy cocaine in Portugal face no criminal consequences, but their euros still end up paying the wages of the thugs who saw off heads in Latin America. For the producer countries, going easy on drug users while insisting that the product remain illegal is the worst of all worlds, where marijuana is legalized. 11 states in the District of Columbia have legalized the personal possession of small amounts of marijuana, and in some cases the sale of pot is in licensed dispensaries. Alaska, California, Colorado, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Nevada, Oregon, Vermont, Washington, and Washington, D.C. Excellent article. Shouts to Thoughtco on that. I mean, tell me what you guys think. I think it is much better to fully legalize than to just say, oh, okay, well, this, I'm going to decriminalize it because, again, you can, then it's not a crime. People get to get out of jail. Decriminalization only means that the punishments get lesser, but it is still illegal to produce or sell. So if I decriminalize personal use, but still make it illegal to produce or to manufacture or sell this thing, then it's going to be hard for any businesses to have bank accounts. It's going to just leave it in the black market. It's going to continue to create a situation where people don't know what they're smoking. They don't know where they're getting their bud from. The whole situation is bad. It's just it's negative all around. When we need a more regulated marketplace. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to smoke good. We all want to smoke safely. We all want to have a good time. And it has to be done a particular way. You know what I'm saying? Just my thoughts. Just his ghetto point of view. Ooh. But come on, tell me your thoughts. Because I'm all for the thoughts on this. Like, I know too many people that have been locked up unnecessarily behind marijuana, lost their ability to go to school, lost their ability to get school loans, got kicked out of jobs, lost housing, lost employment, all over cannabis. I mean, they just literally just fired those staffers at the White House when Kamala Harris literally went on the Breakfast Club, which is a which is a Power 105 morning show, hosted by Angela Yee, DJ Envy, and the main producer of the show is Charlemagne the God. Shouts to him. And Kamala Harris, current vice president Kamala Harris, went onto the show during her campaigning and said, I smoked, I inhaled, the world would be a happier place with more marijuana, and we need to legalize on a federal level, not just decriminalize. Then went on and proceeded to fire a bunch of people, to which reporters asked White House press secretary Jen Psaki about it, and she really went in. She didn't have a good answer, and she did not appreciate being put on the spot about it. But, I mean, this whole situation is disgusting, and we should have been putting people on the spot about this a very long time ago. This whole situation is disgusting. We should have been putting people on the spot about this a long time ago. But y'all could tell me I'm bugging. Y'all could give me y'all perspective. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. HISGHETTOPOINT. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Me personally, you want his ghetto point of view, you want my 2 cents on it, you want my spin, you want my take. Legalize. And as a person who personally uses cannabis for both its medicinal and recreational properties, more so for its medicinal, with all the pain and stuff I got going on, but there's a lot of recreational benefits that come along with the consumption of cannabis as well. It's a stress reliever, anti-anxiety drug. It's an anti-inflammatory drug, especially if you're using CBD or cannabidiol or CBG or CBA. Those different cannabinoids that are located throughout in the plant. I mean, there are so many different chemical profiles that we've yet to fully continue to investigate. And once they have full legalization, they'll be able to do more medicinal trials with the plant, and we'll be able to fully allow children to use the plants for its medicinal properties. The children that have seizures and the children that are getting cancer treatments will be able to use it much more openly without there being any stigma toward their parents, parents being called abusers just because they're giving their children things to counteract the horrible treatments that they're receiving just to try to save their lives. I mean, the list goes on and on with so many beautiful benefits that'll happen through legalization. And I know some people are just like, well, I want to decriminalize so my friends can get out of jail. Well, decriminalizing it won't let your friends out of jail, because decriminalizing it only lessens the penalties. So yeah, if your friend had 10 years and when they decriminalize it, okay, he got 5. So now they have to mull and debate if your friend has been good enough or bad enough to be let out of jail. And that's not always going to happen. There's several states that have decriminalized now that still have a huge population of nonviolent cannabis offenders locked away. It's got to be fully legalized. We've got to fully legitimize the cannabis culture and cannabis use in this country for 21 and over adults. We talking about 21 and over adults. That's it. And if you can start growing plants in your own house 18 months after the dispensaries get to set up, why not? So the dispensaries won't get to set up until 2022. So that just gives, that gives a good bit of time for them to get that together. And, a year will pass super fast, guys, and it will look up. And then, so pretty much you project into like 2023, 2024 for people to be able to grow in their houses. Let's see what happens, gang. Let's see what the hell happens. This your boy Phantm Phuego, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of his Ghetto point of view. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Take a quick break, gang. We'll be right back. Che. Yeah, gang. We back. And as always, gang, make sure all questions, comments, critiques, criticisms, you know where to send them. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. HISGHETTOPOINT. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Please make sure you send them my way. All right, then. So, interesting stories to start the day, man. I hope y'all week is going good. How y'all been, man? I hope everybody's doing all right out there. You know what I'm saying? Stimmies is flowing. People feeling good. But let's hope that, in this time of feeling good, that we still plan for the next rainy day. We see that, make sure we don't see this as all things are clear, all signals is a go. Make sure we do see that, in this time we should still maintain be careful, be cautious, try to keep, things around you to keep you safe and keep your fam safe. Keep a little bit of extra food. Just tucked away a couple extra boxes of noodles, a couple cans of beans. Just call me being extra cautious, man. But I never been one to think when everything getting smooth that it's time to smooth groove. You know what I'm saying? I think, yeah, we could smooth groove, but as we smooth grooving, let's also make sure that everybody is good. You know what I'm saying? So let's just make sure we keep our eye on the 8 ball and not let these things happening in the world right now make us think that, everything is good. Now, switching gears a little bit, because that was great. That was a good way to start. That was positive. Switching gears a little bit, right? Hollywood. Now, Hollywood has always been known for Hollywood has always been known for, I mean, you name it. Comes to movies, TV shows, the theatrical presentation, but also the messages that are sent with these theatrical presentations, right? So some are good, some are bad. Some put some people and groups in more positive lights than others, and those are things that Hollywood is tackling and dealing with now as it, tries to reimagine Hollywood. But I don't think they're doing that because they want to. I think they're doing that because they're being forced to. Number one, you know what I mean? We've all seen Oscars too white and all that nonsense, boycott the Emmys, the Tonys, the Golden Globes, and all that. Because, the Oscars have been too white for an entirely too long period of time. And you see, when you have these great equalizers like the internet come through and create platforms for shows like Money and Violence, create platforms for shows like All About the Fliz, and create platforms for people to put their own sci-fi series together, their own talk shows together, their own networks together. When you got things like Hulu and Amazon Prime allowing other smaller networks to be on there, and you've got like Amazon Fire Sticks that allow you to independent media creators to get on and share their content and throw up their stories and do their thing. When you got all of that going, it creates momentum. It creates synergy. It creates a world in and of itself where you don't necessarily need the Hollywood people to show you love or let you in or let you through the door. You can be a sports analyst without ever working for ESPN these days. You can literally do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And these large platforms have allowed that to happen. The Vimeos, the YouTubes, BitChutes, the list goes on and on of these creative platforms, and more being created every day. And even Facebook, Instagram, all of these places are allowing people to put up TikTok, are allowing people to put up content and create communities without having to go to traditional routes. So I think Hollywood is being backed into a corner, but it might be too late because people might be used to starting to consume content outside of Hollywood to such a degree that it literally has put a serious dent in the Hollywood pockets. And $10 billion has been lost in Hollywood due to racism, according to this entertainment ABC News Entertainment article. Should be interesting read. But all that says to me is that these motherfuckers would literally hemorrhage themselves. These people would literally allow themselves to bleed out just to keep a certain group of people down. Like, think about that. Like, there was an article maybe like a year or two ago which showed in the banking system that the banks, literally how loans and stuff is given out in this world, and how the economics of the country of the United States literally have cost themselves like $3-4 trillion, $20 billion alone they cost themselves in 2019 just for bad banking, not want to give black banks loans, not want to do business with black people, not want to do the same amount of business with black people when they do business with them. Cost the banks, cost society around $20 billion in 2019 alone, and they estimate around 3 or 4 trillion in total. But Hollywood, the lack of diversity in Hollywood cost the industry $10 billion. And this is a story from March 11th of this year. So anyone, that's not new. Nah, this is very new data. For years, researchers have said a lack of diversity in Hollywood films doesn't just poorly reflect demographics, it's bad business. And movies like Black Panther showed that. Movies like Black Panther showed that you could put first of all, fuck that narrative, man. Because Friday showed that. Sidney Poitier showed that. Bill Cosby showed that. Okay? What we talking about? Monique showed that. Anytime you put black people at the forefront of things, the numbers go through the roof. Red Fox showed that. Okay? What we talking about? These people had to do their thing. Eddie Murphy showed that. Vivica A. Fox, Halle Berry, Brandy Norwood. The list. What the fuck are we talking about, man?
UPN, BET, the NBA, the NFL. Do we really want to have this conversation? Boxing, Tiger Woods. Anytime you allow black people just to do their thing, they get to the forefront. And it ain't about a race thing, white folks. It's about just letting people have a fair shake and letting fair talents exceed in all areas. That means allowing the white people to succeed, allowing Asian folks to succeed, Hispanic people, Latin people, Asian people, and yes, people of African, American, Caribbean, West Indian, East Indian, Canadian, allowing people of these descents, Alaskan, Nova Scotian, New Zealanders, wherever they from, German, letting people make it off their merits, off the work they put in. And when you've historically allowed black people to be at the forefront of the things that they have allowed them to have fair shakes, to be at the forefront of something. We've all seen the miraculous things that happen in all sectors, not just entertainment, business, technology, art, science, education, communication, transportation. The list goes on and on. Why do we play this game? Why do we play this game? Just tell me why we playing this game, yeah? Tell me why. So, the study says a lack of diversity in Hollywood cost the industry $10 billion, right? So for years, researchers said a lack of diversity in Hollywood film doesn't just poorly reflect demographics, it's bad business. A new study by the consulting firm McKinsey and Company estimates just how much Hollywood is leaving on the table. $10 billion. That is billion with a B, like Bear, Babaluski, all right? Billion, like LeVar Ball like to say. The McKinsey report released Thursday analyzes how inequality shapes the industry and how much it ultimately costs its bottom line. The consulting firm deduced that $148 billion film and TV film and TV laws that the $148 film and TV industry loses $10 billion or 7% every year. Woo! Listen, the consulting firm deduced that the $148 billion film and TV industry loses $10 billion or 7% every year by undervaluing black films, filmmakers, and executives. Meaning they don't pay them as much, they don't put them on jobs as often. They don't give them the type of work that would be best suited to their skills. It's bad all across the board. It's bad all across the board. They don't promote the films like they should. They don't market the films to the correct demographics as they should. They don't put the films in as many theaters and in front of as many audiences, whether it be streaming platforms, etc., as they should. And it costs them billions of dollars annually. Fewer black-led stories get told, and when they are, these projects have been consistently underfunded and undervalued, despite often earning higher relative returns than other properties. Absolutely. They would give a black film pennies to make. Look what happened with Soul Plane. They gave them dudes pennies to make Soul Plane, and Soul Plane turned out to be a cult classic. This happens all the time. This happens all the time. All the time. They undervalue the films, and then when the shit turned into a blockbuster success, oh yeah, we knew. Me and Jim, Jim and John over there. You know, we knew. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? You didn't know anything. You knew nothing. You thought you knew something. You knew a damn thing. You thought that this was just another film that was going to be a tax write-off, and it turned out to be Soul Plane. It turned out to be vampire in Brooklyn. It turned out to be, the list goes on and on. The list goes on and on. It turned out to be Blade. It turned out to be, and everybody says how Blade was trash, but Blade single-handedly saved Marvel and gave them the money to create the Marvel universe. Blade single-handedly did that. I was, why everybody say Blade's bad? I watch Blade. Blade look kind of cool. And then I see the numbers. I'm like, yo, people really hated on this film. They gave the film a shit budget, as they always do. And then the film does what it does. Red Fox had to take his films underground and start putting them in theaters himself. The Byron Allen with his comedy network. He's always getting the shit end of the stick, always having to put his stuff on the lower channels. And his numbers are always still good. He's always still doing well. The dude is still a billionaire. Dude just bought the weather. Like UPN, there's a dope. Anytime you get a sec, watch Comedy Hype News on YouTube. They just did a piece on the rise and fall of UPN and all of its black shows and black cinema, and how UPN, BET, NBC networks through time immemorial, the WB, the list goes on and on. Networks take these shows, these black shows, Moesha, Sister, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. The list goes on to take these shows, put them on a network when the network first starts, get black people loving the network and addicted to the content of the network, and then once the network has made a ton of money, drops all of the black shows and puts on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Seventh Heaven, Dawson's Creek, Grey's Anatomy, most of those shows, Beverly Hills 90210, Friends, replacing shows like The Parkers and Girlfriends, Living Single. The list goes on and on. The Carlisle Show, which was about to go on the run and do what black television shows always do. They yanked it right the hell up off the air. They don't like it when those shows do well. They underfund them, and they still do amazingly well. They hate that. What they love, though, is the money that comes along with it, so they'll do it as they need to. This is just his ghetto point of view. You don't like it? His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. You're an actor, you're a filmmaker, you're a film producer, you're an executive in the entertainment industry, and you feel like I have it all wrong. Please feel free. Come on the show. Let's talk about it. Article continues, fewer black-led stories get told, and when they are, these projects have been consistently underfunded and undervalued, despite often earning higher relative earnings, higher returns than other properties. Wrote the study's authors Jonathan Dunn, Sheldon Lin, Noni Onyeater, and Emmanuel Zigay. The study, spanning the years 2015 to 2019, was conducted over the last 6 months and drew on earlier research by the University of California, Los Angeles, or UCLA, the University of Southern California, aka USC, and Nielsen, the people who track all of the numbers for entertainment watching based on what people are watching, when they're watching, how long they're watching, and what that equates to as far as revenue and ad dollars. The Blacklight Collective, a coalition of black executives in the talent and in the film industry, collaborate with McKinsey researchers. The company also interviewed more than 50 executives, producers, agents, actors, directors, and writers anonymously. McKinsey attributed at least some of the Hollywood's slow progress to to its complex and multi-layered business, an ecosystem of production companies, networks, distributors, talent agencies, and other separate but intertwined realms. But the lack of black representation in the top positions of power plays a prominent role. The study found that 92% of film executives are white, and 87% are in television. Whew. 92% of film executives are white, and 87% of TV executives are white. Agents and executives at the top 3 talent agencies are approximately 90% white, and a striking 97% of the partners at the top 3 talent agencies are white. The people that call the shots, the people that make the decisions, the tastemakers, 97% white. The partners, people that put up the bread, the people that organize the company, white. But what does that have to do with anything? Like, is that even important? Do you really need black executives? Do you need black top tier talent executives? Do you need black people in positions of administration or authority at talent agencies? Do you really need that? Do you need more black people in the rooms of as film executives? Do you need more black television exec? I mean, do you really need that? I mean, does it matter? What is this black and white thing anyway? Researchers found that films with a black lead or co-lead are budgeted 24% less than movies that don't. Researchers found that films with a black lead or co-lead are budgeted 24% less on average than movies that don't. So if I gave you, let's say I got a film with Will Smith and Tyra Banks, and I gave them $100,000 budget. If I had a film with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, I'm giving them at least $124,000 budget to make their film. A disparity that nearly doubles when there are 2 or more black people working as directors, producer, or writer. So if it's a Spike Lee joint and he hires Ava DuVernay, I would give them about a 50% of the budget than I would give a white director with his white producer or writer. But none of this matters, y'all, right? Among other measures, McKinsey recommends that a well-funded third-party organization be created for a more comprehensive approach to racial equality. The film business, it said, is less diverse than industries such as energy, finance, and transportation. Following the Black Lives Matter protests last year, McKinsey said it would dedicate $200 million to pro bono work to advance racial equality. We got to do better than this, guys. This is crazy. So if I'm Martin Scorsese and I get one of these beautiful, young, up-and-coming white female directors to help me co-direct my film, or amazing white female comedy writers to do a love movie with me, we would get a $200,000 budget. Wow. If Kevin Hart executive produces a film and has Tiffany Haddish be the main writer, they would get $100,000 or $102,000. Just think of it now. Let's talk about the millions because we talking about millions of dollars for films, right? So I would get 2 million. They'd get $1 million. I'd get 20 million. They'd get $10 million. I'd get 100 million. They'll get $50 million to have the same amount of staff, same amount of crew, have the same safety requirements, pay for the same insurances, and let's not even talk about if the cost for their insurance for their sets is higher. Guys, what is going on? And then we wonder why people are running to independent media sources like Netflix. They would rather just go to Netflix and get a streaming deal because they're tired of Hollywood. And yeah, Netflix may turn out to be the other devil, but it's like they're tired of the one they know. They're tired of the game they playing. And I can't say I blame them at all. But you could tell me different. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts, man. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Make sure you've hit that notification bell. And if this is your first show, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are in for a treat. And if this is you coming back again, you know I appreciate you guys so goddamn much. We'll be right back, yo. Yeah. Yeah, gang, we back. So as always, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for rocking and vibing with the show. It would be no show without y'all. I really do appreciate it. I really, really do. Any questions, comments, critiques, criticisms, you know where to reach us. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Excuse me. His ghetto point of view at gmail.com. Over here sipping on some ginger tea. Just trying to keep it right. Oh man, that official ginger tea too. Like I had got some ginger tea from Bigelow, and no disrespect to Bigelow tea. Bigelow tea is cool, but like I need tea like that's really like a substantial tea, right? So I go get my tea from the fruit stand because they got like the tea crystals, so I could like boil some actual fresh ginger. And if I put the fresh ginger boil with the ginger crystals, oh man, it's a ginger experience. You know what I'm saying? I'm big into ginger, man. I just like ginger a lot. It's just very good for you too, So big into a lot of ginger, man. A lot of ginger. Drink, lots of ginger. Drink, lots of ginger. And smoke weed every day. Stop. If you're so inclined. And if you don't like to smoke, get you a gummy. Get you a edible. Get you a plate of infused food. There's a lot of interesting times, man. Interesting times. But let's go is all I can say. Let's go is all I can say. But yeah, man. Any questions, comments, critiques, criticisms, feedback, stuff you think I should put on the show, guests that you would love to hear on the show. Shout to my man Dex McBean, formerly known as Triple X, from the legendary group Ashy Elbows. The amazing story he told about, the legendary career that he had with Dino Snuff as a part of that crew. That was a dope story. Please check that out. That was the previous episode that I just dropped. And I also have a ton of amazing guests coming up and future episodes. So it's going to be a really good time. It's going to be really dope vibes. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. His ghetto point of view, where we bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews. But just the twist is got a point of view. Ooh, 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 yeah. So as I was saying previously, about a week or so ago, I really dug the movie I Care the Most. Gave it about 9 out of 10 matches. It has a great original story, very interesting cast. It's fast paced, good editing style. There's a few continuity issues here and there, but I mean, what film doesn't have that? You know what I'm saying? Especially these days when they're cranking out so much content so fast, something is gonna make it to the wide audience version. Something's gonna make it, but it really makes you hard to pick a side to root for, because neither side is really what you quote unquote quote good. They're both kind of like anti-heroes, kind of, so to speak. But great dialogue. I highly recommend the film. Check it out on Netflix. I Care the Most. It's really dope. Also, was watching a Last Chance U basketball season. That's dope. I'm running through that again. I really like it. Really enjoy it. Please check it out. It's really good. In addition to that, check out, there's a new series, a Pirates of the Caribbean series on Netflix that is like absolutely amazing. It goes through the whole story of these pirates who made their bounty, pretty much pillaging and plundering either English or Spanish ships, or sometimes pirates pillaging other pirate ships. But they actually had like a very diplomatic code and a rule system, how they, worked among each other. They show a lot of these pirates that they call quote unquote African pirates, but a lot of these people are just indigenous to the American natives, autochtons, Americans, Amarucans, natives of Turtle Island, Caribbeans, West Indians, Canadians, Nova Scotians, Americans, whatever you want to call them. It was people that were already here that they then took and made into slaves. Did people come from Africa previously to the Americas? Of course, all that is a whole fact. Did people get taken from the Americas to Africa? Of course, that's a whole fact too. Did people come from the Africas to the Americas on slave ships? Possibly is that as well, as all factual. But let's not leave out the fact that a ton of these people that they call slaves or pirates or whatever were people who were not white, very much black. Some who are what they would call Sephardim or Sephardic Jews, and Arabs or black Arabs or Moors would also have been on these ships as well. But I like the series. It's very interesting. I wish it was a little more in depth in who, in historical accuracies, but can't win them all. I can do additional research for myself if I like what they're talking about and dig deeper. And I was already into watching and reading some books, watching some documentaries and reading some books that were getting into a lot of that stuff. So it was just kind of dope that Netflix turned it into this larger in life thing. And it's funny that they did that after the Buccaneers of Tampa Bay, the Pirates of the Caribbean, if you will, won the Super Bowl. So I think that's all just a very interesting coinkydink, and I don't believe in coinkydinks. They probably already had that in the chamber and let it off once this happened. But anyway, check those out. Check those out. This is his Ghetto Point of View, where we bring you the news, views, previews, and reviews. But just a twist of his Ghetto Point of View. Ooh, yeah. And sorry about that. And lots of craziness going on, gang. Lots of madness going on in the world. But we keep striving, we keep pushing, we keep going forward, we keep having good days. We take a deep breath.
we just handle what we can. We ask for the guidance to be able to deal with the things we can, the strength to deal with the things that, we can surmount, the patience to tolerate those things which may not be most in our direct control, that we have to figure out ways to get around, navigate, and get out of our realm. And the wisdom, the patience, the wisdom, the foresight, the level of understanding to be able to discern or know the difference between the things that we can control and the things we can't. So just breathe on that, guys, and breathe that away. You know what I mean? Breathe on that. Breathe that away. Inhale, exhale, breathe on it for me. I'm sorry, I'm silly, but it's good to be silly sometimes, man, because things can really rattle you, things can really shake your spirit sometimes in this world. But if you can find the resolve, you can find the strength to just pull through, even as things get crazy, even as things get a little rocky, turbulent, upside down. That's when you're doing something special, man. That's when you're making your way in this world. That's when you're leaving your mark. That's when what you're doing is really dope. You know what I'm saying? But this has been your boy Phantm Phuego. I'm gonna cut it light today, y'all. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for rocking and vibing. I will see you guys on Sunday. As always, shouts to AJ's Kitchen for the amazing good vegan eats. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com. AJSKITCHINN for all your vegan entree needs. Try their vegan breakfast sandwich, an amazing vegan sausage patty with avocado, served on a freshly banked honey bun, freshly banked honey roll. They're absolutely to die for. Or if you're going in there for lunch, I highly recommend their vegan chickpea curry platter, or they can also just make it vegan chickpea vegetable platter. Both are absolutely amazing, with brown basmati or jasmine rice and some naan. They're absolutely a filling, healthy lunch. They also could make pizzas from scratch. They have this sausage pizza that's absolutely amazing. All handmade ingredients, guys, down to the sauces. Wow, I can't say enough about AJ's Kitchen. From the desserts, kid friendly, cookies, gummies, all from scratch, all vegan, nut-free, gluten-free, allergen-free. I mean, just, man, I can't say enough about them. Check them out on Instagram. Check them out on Twitter. AJ's Kitchen at gmail.com, and their subsidiary. They're also the home of a Tomb Race Pantry for all your healing needs. So shout them out, man. They're absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm out of here, man. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Please continue to donate. PayPal.me/Phantm Phuego, PhantM Phuego, or at Venmo at Phantm Phantm-Fuego Phuego-42 Phantm Phuego 42. Your contributions, your donations are so helpful in helping keeping this thing pushing and keeping us moving forward. And please tell a friend to tell a friend. Wednesdays and Sundays is when we get it in. You know how we do it. It ain't nothing to it. You know how we do it. It ain't nothing to it. You know how we do it. It ain't nothing to it. You know how we do it. It ain't nothing to it. Yeah. I really enjoy this time with y'all. I enjoy the fun we get to have. It's a special time for me, for real. I super appreciate it. And y'all, continue to call me out. Continue to give me your questions, your feedback. Tell me what you love, what you hate, the stories you think I'm completely off base on, the stories you think that I'm completely on track on. And continue to send me links, videos. All the stuff y'all send me is so amazing. I look it all over. I really, really do. And I try to get back to you all as swiftly as I possibly can, because I really do appreciate each and every one of you taking the time
to donate, to support, to ask questions, to give feedback, to share links of stories that you find interesting and, make up your lives, because this show is for you guys and you guys make this show rock. With all that being said, I'm out of here. I love you, each and every one of you. Deep breath before we go. It's good to be alive, gang. Take it easy. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit your notifications. So whatever platform you're on, Anchor, Spotify, Google, Pocket Cast, Radio, Radio One, whichever platform you're on, you're made sure to be notified each and every time we go live. And you get to be in tune with the dopest show on the planet. And I mean that with no shots at nobody else, but y'all make it that way, because I got the freshest audience there is. Love, gang. Love, love, love. See y'all Sunday. Easy.